Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be diving into some of my favorite reflection questions. If you've been watching, a fan of the show, I really like to reflect on Fridays to pick and prod the things that have been really going well this week, the things that haven't, and just how can we be better individuals moving forward. Fridays are always fun for reflection. So enjoy the show, stick around, get the questions, and help improve yourself on your own journey. Cheers, folks. Enjoy the episode. It's going to be a banger. Testing. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry if I looked like a deer in the headlights there for a second. Good morning. Good morning. Making sure that our audio's all ready to rock and roll. How's everyone doing this morning? Welcome back to another episode of the Talk Tanner Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercise to help make you the absolute best person you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. How are you doing this morning? Maybe you got a little bit of coffee with you. You got some coffee, or maybe you're just getting going for the day. You drinking some water. Don't make fun of me for being pink. It's my girlfriend's water bottle. Either way, today I think we're gonna nail some reflection questions. I really enjoy reflecting on Fridays, just looking back over the week, what's been going on, things that are I feel like life is so fast and we get caught in last week we had a really good podcast with my friend Quincy. If you guys want to check out that episode, musician living out in LA. I'm actually getting a chance to work with him now, so it's going to be really fun. And he was just talking about getting in the rat race and getting caught in the hamster wheel of things moving really quickly. So I think being intentional about reflecting is more important now than ever, just because life's really fast, things change, and the only constant in this universe I think we could agree on is change. So being prepared for that in the right ways. Okay, let's get right into the questions. We got a bunch to talk about. So we're going to start with these 3 reflection questions, and then we're going to transition to how do you actually use them. So what are the questions? How do we use them? That's going to be the 2 phases. So make sure to stick around with us today. Let's get to the chalkboard, folks. It's going to be a fun one. So first question we have is, what went well this week? What went well? I'll go ahead and share some of my examples, things that have been going well with me. I'm going to kick this logo off the screen just so you guys, my head doesn't get cut off. Boop, there it goes. All right. Back to the banners. All right. What went well this week? I'll go ahead and share some of my examples, but when you're answering these questions, go ahead and just start writing them out, whether it's on the computer or in a notebook. I like writing in notebooks a lot, and for some reason, something about pen to paper always makes me feel good. But start writing out your questions, your thoughts. What went well this week? Let's get this on the board. What went well? What went well? I think we get very easily trapped in this concept of there are 2 spaces in life. There is where you want to be, desire, and then this is where you are at now. This is the present. And so what happens a lot is we want more money. We want a different job. We want a different career or something along these lines. And there is a gap. This space right here creates a gap of where you want to be and where you're at. And when we focus too much and have the wrong thoughts and intentions, and we're too heavy on the desires and the wants, and we're not in a state of gratitude, we're not in a state of harmony, we're not accepting the beauty with what is right here, right now, in this present moment, then there's going to be some suffering. So you can think of this gap as suffering. I think we can really greatly reduce suffering. That's a down arrow. We can reduce suffering just by focusing on this question. What went well? So what went well for me this week? What are a couple things? I closed 3 sales. I had a really special Valentine's Day I got to see my mom, got to see my grandpa, got to see my hangout with my girlfriend, got to see family. So I would say partner and family on Valentine's Day. Family. So on V-Day, I really enjoyed talking about the history of Valentine. I like the holidays. I really do. I heard someone talking over at a gas station the other day. They're like, Valentine's Day is just a way for them to make money. And it's like, well, so is the car that you're driving and the food that you eat. And we can play this game any way you want, but it's really what you make it, man. So if you really enjoy the holidays, and I always tend to, it makes it easy, something fun to talk about, but just going over what went well this week. So looking at a couple things, and one last thing I would say, working out. My girlfriend's nephew is starting to get into working out, and it's been exciting talking to him about his journey and things that he wants to do and how he's trying to get healthier and happier, because that's all you can want for the people that you love and care about most, is for them to be healthier and happier too. So working out, I hit some really heavy weights the last couple days. Lift really hard on Monday, cardio core on Tuesday, lifted really heavy on Wednesday and Thursday. And now today I'm just going to go for a couple walks. I'm going to take the dog for a walk and take a little bit of the day off. But these are the things that went well. So go ahead and use this question for you to close this gap of suffering of where you are and where you want to be. And let this be a nice reframer, a reflection of all the good things that we've done so far and the things that are going well. On to the second question, though, because we need to improve. Although we can forgive ourselves, we can have acceptance and grace for the present moment. I think this question is still absolutely vital, because if you run into a brick wall, we don't want to run into it again. And I think this happens with negative thought loops really badly. I know from personal experience how think something negative, can't do nothing about it. 30 minutes go by, I'm thinking about it again for another 10, 20 minutes, beat myself up. Negative thought loop. And we want to be really careful of these. If we can just raise our awareness to catch these negative thought loops that are going on in our mind, I think we can be a lot happier and healthier going forward into the future. So I ask you this question: what didn't go well? Didn't go well. What didn't go well? We can just list off a thing, and we want to make sure. I like to just nail these in 2. So just give me 2. Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of things that are going on that aren't working well. So let's just nail 2. So for me, what didn't go well is, I would say I didn't hit my outreach markers and my social media post markers. So outreach, and then social posts. So I had a couple podcast guests. That was really fun. Did well with that. Some things were going well. Some things were going well. And then to help compensate for the things that were going well, I had a few things that didn't go well. So what can we do different? So after we pull out, you write out what didn't go well. Maybe you didn't get your workouts in, or maybe you didn't do your sales calls, or maybe you didn't get organized. It's tax season's coming up. We're trying to get organized for that. Maybe we didn't get everything done that we wanted. We just mark it down, forgive ourselves. No reason to hold on to that negative energy and emotion. It's only hurting ourselves, right? So good morning, good morning. Maybe this morning we're just a little bit of forgiveness, a little bit of grace. What happened to letting people off the hook? What happened to just being a little kinder to ourselves? So if we can remind that to today, we can make today absolutely great. So after we pick out something that didn't go well, this is the most magical question of all. What am I going to do different next week? What am I going to do different? How am I going to change? What will I change? I like this question. It makes me think of Jim Rome every time in his high inflection voice. He's like, for things to change for you, you have to change. Go figure, go figure. He talks about this fun list that he makes, this fun list that he creates. Reasons why he's not doing well. Because the government, they take your tax money and look how much you got left. Pennies. Or, look at the weather. It's so gray out here in the middle of winter. How am I supposed to have energy? Or look at the economy. We don't know what's going on left, right? There's Ukraine and this and that. And then we always tend to forget that we are the ones in control, that we are the ones that, in order for us to change, we have to change. Change is a funny concept. We can rant on this as much as we want. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to change. We're going to get old. Things are going to move. Our jobs are going to get different. I think the acceptance to the change and controlling the change in the direction we want is the key. What is the direction that we want to go in? Because compounding, when you've probably heard of compounding in S&P 500 markets, in the financial markets, compounding of money, turns out personal development can compound too. And it can also compound in a positive direction, or it can compound in a negative direction. Which way do we want to head today? Do we want to go in a positive direction or a negative direction? But we're having to move somewhere. That is the guarantee. You look at Dr. Wayne Dyer. I always like this analogy. He talks about, if you look at a plant under a microscope, it's either dying or it's growing. So when we're not growing, then we're dying. So being very careful of this and asking ourselves, what are the changes that we want to make? What are the things? Maybe it's eating a little less junk food. Maybe it's giving up nicotine products. Maybe it's not drinking for a month. Maybe we want to make $10,000 with our business. Maybe we want to create a new relationship, find a partner. This Valentine's Day was painful. We wanted to find somebody. Whatever the change is, we make a game plan and we think about it. So what are the steps? Actually apply these questions. So we just went through the 3 reflection questions that you want to use. So get these out, think about them, keep them back pocket. They're simple for a reason, because things are too crazy. If we're not moving, I believe in simplification, and anything to get that first step going forward. First question, what went well this week? Focusing on the gains so we can reduce that suffering. What went well? Did you breathe this morning? Did you take in a breath of fresh air? Did you pause to do a little bit of a breathing exercise? I know we nailed one of those yesterday. If you want to check that out on the channel. What went well this week? And what didn't go well? Are there some things that we can do to improve, some steps that we can take in a positive direction? Because remember, we're taking a step. The question is, which way, in a positive or negative direction? What didn't go well this week? And then after you figure out what didn't go well this week, you write down a thing or two. Then you say, how am I going to do different next week? Maybe you get up a little bit earlier. Maybe you start the morning with a cold shower. Maybe you get a couple workouts in the morning. Or maybe you eat, you prepare, and you write out what it is that you want to eat. So how are the steps that we can use these questions? First, just write out your thoughts and notes. Whether it's in a notebook or you want to use a computer electronically, I like to get away from screens as much as possible, because I look at screens a lot for work. When I'm in coaching sessions, when I'm creating content, I'm in front of a computer a lot more than I'd like to be. That'll change in the future. We'll get things set up with assistants and all that. But for now, this is my speed and this is what I'm doing. But write out your thoughts and notes. I prefer journaling notebooks, but that's up to you. Next up is place changes on the calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and present here. my entire screen. So this is my ebook that I wrote. This is something that I give with clients that it kind of takes through absolutely an egregious amount of stuff to help people create unlimited social media content. What page is that? I think it's page, I have an open calendar on here. Good morning. Good morning. It's a ton of good stuff in here. And this is, if you work with me in coaching, this is one of the things that you get. Okay, this is just a blank calendar. So now what you do is on the calendar, you go ahead and you write out the changes that you want to make on the calendar. And then in a week from now, we look at it again and say the same 3 questions. What went well? What didn't? And what now? So you answer these questions, you write them out, and then you place on the calendar the time and the day that you want to make these changes. Remember, specific as possible. And then I just want you to know whether you keep your promise to yourself or not. No judgment, all acceptance. We cannot manage what we don't measure. So just getting a little bit on there, just some type of check-in system, especially if it's important to you. If growing your business is genuinely important to you, we're going to have to measure it. If becoming a better reader, if losing weight, if eating healthier, if that stuff really, really is that important to you, we need to measure it in some capacity, some way. And I think this is like the simplest, easiest way to do it. You just put it on the calendar, you commit, you promise to yourself, and then you check in a week. So down on here, you have the third part of this framework. So we have write out our thoughts and notes, just thought bomb it, get it all out there. And then we place changes on this blank calendar. And you can reach out to me if you want this. I'll just give it to you. I don't care. If you just want me to rip this one page out of the ebook, I can email it to you. So you place changes on the calendar. And then what's going to happen next is we're going to have thoughts arise. It's not a question whether, I hear this all the time, that I want to control my thoughts and I want to control my emotions. I personally believe from experience that I can't speak for other people. I cannot control my thoughts. I cannot control my emotions. What I can control is the duration that I allow each thought and emotion to live inside my head. So when the thoughts arise of I'm not good enough, I keep saying I'm going to do it and I'm not doing it, go figure, there I go again doing all this. And then we want to just beat ourselves up and berate ourselves. Catch it. When thoughts arise, you either take action, say, I have all these negative thoughts on the foods that I'm eating and I'm not losing weight, or I have all these thoughts on my business isn't growing and it's not going. You either take action on it or you let that shit go. These are the options to happiness. You either take action or you let it go. Your choice. I highly encourage taking action when emotion's high. We talked about Jim Rome earlier, and man, I'm going to go ahead and remove this, get this off the calendar. We talked about Jim Rome a little bit earlier, and he's always been a big proponent of taking action when the emotion's hot. And I believe that is the best way to do it. If you really want to do something, doing it now is the best time. Now is the best time to do it. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll wait till tomorrow. Good luck. Like, some people can do that. Wait till tomorrow, and then something comes up. Then something comes up. Then something comes up, because life is life. So if you really do want to do something, I highly encourage taking a small action step right here, right now. Maybe this morning you want to journal a little bit, or maybe you want to drop on the floor and you want to do some yoga. You want to move your body. You want to walk around, something. But action's the best feeling in the world. And then if you're not willing to take action, be honest with yourself and then let that crap go. If you're not going to do it, I've suffered from this so much, and I still do, but I am genuinely getting better at reducing my time under suffering. Not a question if I'm going to suffer. It's just how long am I going to suffer? That's my belief on it anyway. So these thoughts come in. I know that I'm not going to make these sales. Like, for example, we did Valentine's steak dinner. It was absolutely delicious. Loved it. I had a glass of wine I hadn't drank in 30 days and had a nice alcohol. Glass of wine with the steak. I love that combination. Just absolutely adore it. Valentine's Day, we're doing it. We're having a good time. And then I have a thought come in. Tanner, you didn't hit your sales mark today. You didn't make enough posts. There you go again, falling behind. And then the negative thought loop comes right back. And I grabbed it. It is Valentine's Day. I'm sitting in front of the beautiful love of my life. I'm going to let this go. I don't need to suffer from this. That's not true. And then I go back, bring my attention and focus to my girlfriend, her talking about her day, the taste of the delicious dinner, and then I'm back in the present moment. I'm feeling healthy and happy. They're going to come in. These thoughts are going to come in. It's just how long are we going to let them stew up the pot of negativity? And we want to be very careful of that. So when the thoughts arise, either take action to improve them or let them go. Those are our options. But that's all I have for today. I'm over on my time. I got a few meetings today, so I got to bounce. But quick recap. Again, these are 3 reflection questions you can do anytime, anywhere. Write them out. So the process for is write these questions out in your notes, then place a few small changes. You don't need to change the world completely today. Rome wasn't built in a day, but just a few small changes. Place it on that calendar that we were talking about over here. If you need one, reach out to me, or you can use Google Calendar to chop out what you want to do. Either way, just some form of measurement place. Next we have, so after you make the changes on the calendar, then it's just thought practice. Building that just thought bouncer, that strong person or identity of just, I'm not going to allow this stuff to beat the crap out of me anymore. I'm done with this. I'm done stewing. I'm done thinking of the same 4 thoughts 1,000 times and letting it kick the crap out of me. Life's too short for that. Life's way too short for that. So the questions are, what went well this week? What didn't go well this week? And what are you going to do different? Check these out. See if they can be as helpful to you as they have been for me. I love reflection questions. I love reflecting. It just makes me really happy. It makes me feel a lot of gratitude and just a lot of positive emotion. And I want that more in my life. And hopefully you do as well. If you think you know someone who would benefit from this, don't hesitate to share this video with them. It means the world to me as we're trying to grow the channel. Other than that, I'm off for the weekend, folks. I'm getting the heck out of here. I got a few more meetings to wrap up, some coaching sessions this Friday, but I'm going to take Saturday off and then I'll get back to it on Sunday. Cheers. Love you all. Having a wonderful, wonderful day. In case you needed to hear it, I love you. You're badass. You got this. Let's have an incredible, incredible Friday. Let's learn something about ourselves. Do something kind for somebody we love and care about. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, friends. I'm out of here. Have a great Friday. Cheers.